All right, welcome back. This is Professor Triplet, and it's time to get into extruding this piece since most of it's basically laid out and done. So I want to show you a little thing that happens here. Now, it would be nice if we could just hit extrude and we can pull this off of here. But we're going to run into a problem here, and that problem is right in this area here. You can see there's like a massive collapse happening because Maya just doesn't know how to handle basically this surface going from the normals pointing this way to the normals pointing this way. I mean, it's handling it correctly, but it's trying to transition, and then these things collapse into each other. Now there's also, you might say, well, there's a Thicken Tool. Try the Thicken Tool. Okay, let's try the Thicken Tool. Don't ask me why, but this is what happens. And I have built this handle more than once, I would even say more than twice, trying to see if there's a way to get rid of that. But for some reason, Maya, when you use the Thicken Tool, doesn't like that. You know, another option might be to go to your mesh and do a cleanup and see if maybe something can be cleaned up. If there's something that you don't, maybe you don't realize. Select matching polygons, hit apply. So it doesn't look like there's anything to clean up, so not really a problem there. So here's my solution. Okay, so you want to basically just get rid of this piece here for now. You want to just detach it. Now, in hindsight, I may have been able to, create this piece as a flat piece and then do a bunch of bends on them to create, basically how it was really built. But I felt like that would be harder than actually doing it the way I did it, so I didn't do it that way, obviously. But one thing I want to do before I go ahead and detach this thing is I'm going to do some work over here, because this is really the problem area. It's where these things are transitioning and they're tight on each other. So I'm going to select these. I'm going to go to create, and you can go into sets and say quick select set, and then I'm going to call this wing or flap. You can call it whatever you want. Alright, now when you want to select that again, if you notice in your outliner you actually get this wing selection set. You also have in select, there's quick select sets, wing. You can do either one. So I can go here and select one and then shift select all the way down, and it selects those again. Okay. Let's just average the verts a little bit here before I do that. So I'm going to grab these right here, and I think that should work. And I'm just going to go ahead and do an average verts. Like so. Turn the iteration up a little bit, just to ease this transition a little. It's a tricky area, we would call this. So I'm going to move that over just a little bit. And yeah, we'll let it go for now. I can go ahead and mess with this all I want, but I'm not sure how it's going to turn out until I put everything back together. So let's go ahead and we want to get those faces. So come here, select all these. Oh, looks like I selected too many. And you know what? I'm actually thinking that this might get a little complicated. I'm going to leave it. Let's leave it like that. Let's do an extract. We'll move this thing off this way a little bit. And we're getting this little weird thing here, so let's go ahead and just go to object mode and center pivot, and then we can just move this off a little bit for right now. That way we can work with just this piece. Okay, so now this piece we want to do the same thing we were about to do, which is the extrude, but let's get our body out so we can see how far to extrude it. We'll go to our left view, and we'll take note of that extrude number, how the distance that we extruded, so we can apply that to the other mesh. So just go out to here. It looks like it's at 0.08. We can copy that if we like, and we'll just finish up with that. Let's go perspective mode, and then we are not going to need this all the way up into here. So let's just delete those. And then the same thing goes for this, actually this, all the way over to here. Because we're going to mirror it, these center polygons will be unwanted. Alright, so now we have this, and we want to transition this onto, so we want it to kind of go off of this edge right here, like so. Okay, so before we go ahead and mess with this thing by extrusion, let's go ahead and just, we'll turn our wireframe on here, and we'll snap our verts back where they should be. So let's just hit V and start snapping these where they belong. And this is a tedious process, I guess. I mean, for me, I don't find it tedious anymore, but if it's your first time, it may seem that way. But sometimes you just got to get in the dirt and dig with your hands. That's just the way modeling is. Sometimes you can use the tools to get the job done, but sometimes you just got to kind of manually go and dig in the dirt, if you will. So that's what we're doing right here. We're just getting our hands dirty, that's all. Alright, so now what I think I want to do is I'm gonna just take this and I'm gonna flip the normals. So let's just go reverse, and then I'm going to just do an extrusion in this direction, and then we'll paste in that number that we had. So it should be the exact same distance. And then of course, because we don't need any of this, all the way up until this portion here. Actually, it's even past that, I think. Let's just delete those, and then we obviously don't need that one either. Let's go like that. And then we can just take this one and do the same thing that we did before, which was just snap these verts onto here. And I'm going to do it this way, like that. We'll relax this area over here to get a better transition once we're done putting these verts where they should be. There'll be a few adjustments that we'll make. Oops. There's probably some other approaches to modeling this that could have allowed us to not worry about this step, but you know, you kind of give and take. One way might be better in one area, but then it may turn out to be worse in another area. So let's see, it looks like we missed this one, which is pretty important. There we go. All right, that's it. And uh-oh, something strange happened there. We somehow lost some faces, it looks like, or we have these double-sided faces. Let's see. Looks like triangles. No, it is only one face. That's strange, though. I don't know what happened to the faces that are supposed to go between here and here. Let me see if maybe these edges are screwed up. So it's just one edge. Alright, I'm going to see if I can patch that up. I did not expect that to happen. So let's see if we can just patch this up. Like so, and just do a bridge. Oh, it looks like it worked. Not sure why that happened, but that's a pretty easy solution. Okay, so then this would probably be bridged over to here. Let's see, this would definitely be bridged over to there. So let's just go ahead and just, I can, in 2018, I can just hold Shift and extrude this out. And I can hold V. Now, if you don't have the extrude, if you're on an earlier version of Maya, then just use the Extrude tool, and it'll do the same kind of thing. Right here, I can merge these two verts together. So we can just take these two verts here and merge these together. So just merge, and then we should be able to take this, if we grab these, actually we could just take these and bridge these. There we go. All right, so now, as you can see, we have a transition going on here. There's going to be some problems, you can see right here, but once we connect these things back together, we can uniformly, or I should say, with these unified, we can adjust them together. So let's just grab these two. Let's do a combine. And go ahead and delete the history. And then I'm going to grab all the verts. Do a merge again. So what that should do is that everything that we just welded, or I should say that we just vert snapped, should be welded together now. And now we're just going to work on maybe making this transition a little bit nicer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually just pull it a little bit this way, and then I'm going to start rotating this like so. So now you could average verts here like so, but what happens is that the verts are actually going to get closer together, as you can see right there, and so we lose the integrity of that edge. So that's why I'm kind of by hand just adjusting it, and we can do the same thing over here too. So we can just basically turn it back. Oops, I don't think I had the right axis. Turn it back a little bit like so, so that we're not getting such an abrupt turn right there. Just kind of averaging everything together. Let's go in the bottom view. Where is the bottom view? There it is. And so you can see here, this is some areas that's going to need some love. All right, let's go ahead and just grab this inner edge right here and go all the way up to about right there or so, and we'll just average verts that. Let's just watch what happens while we do that. Just like so, and then we'll do the same thing back here and see what happens. And then we'll go back to the bottom. If I can find it again. I don't know why I'm having a hard time finding the bottom. So weird. And let's go ahead and grab this and just kind of, actually let's just average verts that. So, and then we can actually go to our toolbox, turn on edge slide, and we can just kind of slide these over a little bit, see if we can match them up. I'm assuming that these make like a nice transition like so. So let me just look at it from here and make sure I'm right, because I might be screwing something up if I do it like that. Yeah, that looks a little weird. But what you can do is you can slide it up and then let go and then slide it back down. And it basically, that's another way to average verts, is by, you slide it in one direction, slide it back in the other direction. But you have to let go of the slide between, and it'll start to interpolate between the two more closely, making more of a straight line. So we just go like that, move it back, move it back. Just keep letting go of the mouse, or the button I should say. Like so. And now it looks like we're getting pretty good there. This thing right here probably needs to move in a little bit. Like so. Oops. Do that. And let's see how this looks from the bottom now. Now I still think that this part right here. Oops. So grab that, shift grab, there we go. That's how it's supposed to work. Oh, I grabbed the wrong one though. Here we go. There we go. Okay, so let's see if I can average verts this one more time. Get it even closer to what I want. That actually looks pretty good. So this is not going to be the easiest process. You know, this is why I said this is probably the hardest piece to do. But it's not too terribly terrible if you go ahead and break it up into different steps. So cut. Okay, so we're going to just keep adjusting these as needed. These two right here look like they could be rotated a little bit more, or maybe even just moved. So let's try just a little bit of movement right there. And at this point, this might be a good point to actually go ahead and just do a smooth and see what it looks like. So this is a tension point, and in the real object it would actually be a tension point as well, because you're bending the metal and this is the main place where it's bending. So I'm going to go ahead and just, let's slide this in a little bit. You don't always have to have edge slide on, but in this case I think it'll work out best. I'm going to leave that one alone. And this one here I think needs to, I think we need to grab these two, and actually let's rotate it a little bit like that, and then I'll take the edge slide here and then do this technique where I just rotate or move it a little bit, let go, and then move it again, kind of averaging it between the two. And I think I'm going to do that here too, just average between the two. Move it a little bit, move it back. Oop, that was too much. So you can see how that works. You move it back a little bit and then it starts to average between. This might work the same way, like so. And yeah, this is just a weird area, but I think it will actually represent what the real item looks like, so I'm not worried about it anymore. Okay, so I think we're really close to being done here. That was the hard part. And let's go ahead and I'm going to complete this video by telling you that I made a mistake. I just realized this part here should not have been deleted out. So let me just grab these and let's bridge those. Okay, everybody makes mistakes. Alright, that's it for this video. We'll get started in the next video, and in that one I'll mirror this over, bend this, and do the UVs, and we'll be done.